This episode of Game Club Pod is going to contain spoilers for Helldivers.
2.
And we're going to hear... Oh, shit, yeah, Helldivers 2. Probably Helldivers 1 as well, who knows?
Probably.
Hello, gentlemen. And
Hello.
I say gentlemen.
Hello.
We've wheeled him out because one of our regular hosts is not here. Alex, how are you?
Tired. So tired. How are you?
I'm really good now that you're here. Can you do me a favour and take the role of Slade this episode?
I don't know what Slade does, but yeah. Hi guys, my name is Slade. You can find me online at Slade Plays Games or Slade's Life on Instagram.
That was perfect.
That was pretty flawless.
Tim, how are you?
Tired, so very tired.
Oh, gentlemen, where's the energy?
Big sleepy hours. Very sleepy.
Big sleepy hours. I mean, for a little peek behind our Game Club pod curtain, this is recording one of 3 that Tim and I are doing this evening, so the energy will only go downhill from here.
It dawned on me that it's a very long week for recording for us, because we've got these 3.
Don't say where we're going on Tuesday.
I'm not, but we do have we have a guest spot on Tuesday. We've got 2 blokes from Blighty on Wednesday. And then we've got another 2 episodes to record the following Sunday.
DOS, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a very busy week.
Is Tuesday going to be Game Club Pod? Are you going to be on Game Club Pod? I hear they're great guys.
I don't think they let me on after the last time.
I hear them.
Well, no, you shouldn't
guys.
have said that, really.
And they're actually terrible guys.
Yeah. Whoever
Should we get
edited
into the
their
episode?
Battle Block Theatre episode, dickhead.
Sorry?
Whoever edited their Battle Block Theatre episode, massive dickhead.
I can't tell whether you're saying that's you or Alex. I feel like if it's Alex, it would be really mean.
No, it's me.
It definitely wasn't me.
Yeah, you're done with your editor for Tim days, aren't you?
Honestly, it's such hard work. It's like a full-time job and then some working for
I don't think it helped with the fact that we were just making outrageous demands mid-episode. Like, hey Alex, reverse the audio in the left ear, but only with a 0.5 second offset.
I think you mentioned that on one of the episodes recently on one of your shows.
Yeah, we did.
It was Joey going, I don't know how to do that, and I was sat there listening to it going, I know how to do that. I've had ample experience at doing that.
The thing is, I could learn how to do that, but I'm not going to give in to him. I have known Tim long enough to tell him to shut the fuck up, so... yeah, none of that bullshit here, Tim.
You got it, Chief.
So... we're going to jump into it because I think there's a lot to talk about in this episode.
We're going to dive in.
We are going to dive in. Well done, Tim. Before we do, what are you drinking?
I've got a Cruz Campo.
Ooh, very fancy. Alex, what are you drinking?
Orange juice out of a thermal flask.
Gotta keep it cold. Or hot.
That's it. Cold,
Hot,
not hot.
hot, obviously. And I have a Pepsi in an AFC Richmond glass.
Oh.
Ted Lasso on brand. Right, so, gentlemen, this episode of Game Club Pod is going to contain spoilers for Helldivers.
2.
And we're going to hear... Oh, shit, yeah, Helldivers 2. Probably Helldivers 1 as well, who knows?
Probably.
And we're going to hear...
It's a duck.
Can we hear it on the trumpet, please, Tim? Carry on. welcome back to Game Club Pod. My name is Joey Fitz. I am joined as ever by the inconsequential Tim Fitzgerald and the fearsome Alex.
I thought you were going to say incontinent for me.
Fearful.
Sorry, fearful and incontinent. There you go.
There you go.
That can be your rap names. How are we doing, guys?
I've shit myself, so that's good.
And I'm really scared about what he's done.
I would be. I lived with Tim for about 18 years, and I know what his toilet habits are like.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that bit in Monty Python with the incontinent Olympics? They're basically just running marathons, but every 20 seconds or so they're having to go off into a bush.
I think I'm not pleased that we're kind of at this level already. Have either of you watched CKY, the precursor to Jackass?
Yeah, years ago.
There was a thing where they did a skit where it was, we're going to do things that people said you'll never see done. And one of the things was someone having a shit while running at full speed. So Ryan Dunn has a shit while running at full speed. It was amazing. Not something I think I'd ever want to see again. Is that what you thought? Your third or fourth guest spot, Alex?
I've stopped counting at this point, and yes, it's about what I expected.
Oh, okay, cool. So we always start with a question before our episode gets into that meaty middle. My question for you guys is a very simple one, and slightly linked to Helldivers 2. What is the best moment in a multiplayer game that you've ever had?
That's a very good question.
Rainbow Six Siege. Tim, you fell off a roof.
Oh my god, was this when I was the last person standing?
And you backed up off a roof.
I thought there was a balcony below me, and I just walked backwards off a roof. And the whole team was watching me as well.
I've played Rainbow Six 2 or 3 times on the console. I've never played it on PC.
Oh, it's good.
And I never played it with anyone I knew, so I kind of didn't get it.
Oh, no, Rainbow Six is very good when you've got 4 other friends who are up for it. It's definitely like a squad game, though.
Okay.
Up for it and stupid.
I'm trying to think what it would be.
So, Alex, yours is Tim falling off a roof.
It's the first thing that comes to memory, and that might be because I was in Pixel Bar earlier this afternoon, and Rainbow Six Siege was on the screen.
Oh, nice.
So it could be that.
That's very cool.
I really don't know, actually, with my best multiplayer moment. I don't know. I mean, like, the thing that comes to mind isn't from a video game. It's from a D&D session, if that counts.
That's not the question.
No, I know.
Sort your out, Tim. Do you want me to tell you mine, and I'll give you a little bit of time to think?
Yeah, sure. I'll just chime in.
When I was at uni, we used to have FIFA tournaments round at my friend Ryan's flat, and they would involve things like every time you scored a goal, you had to finish your drink, or every time you committed a foul, you had to take a sip of your drink. And these would go on for 5 or 6 hours, and you'd end up absolutely ratted by the end of it. We decided, and Tim, I think I played this mode with you once, where they have a thing called the sliders in FIFA, and you can up the player speed so that they run like rockets. You can increase the injury frequency so that every time they kick the ball, they go down injured. And you can increase the injury severity. So every time they get injured, it's always like a broken leg. As well as that, you can make the goalkeepers complete morons by turning their ability down to 0. And we very drunkenly put all of those things so that the winner would always be the person who had kickoff. So you kick the ball to the other one, take a shot from the centre circle, and it would always go in. But that meant you had to finish your drink. So by the time that you finished your drink, the next person had done the same thing, scored at the other end, and was finishing their drink. And I had a game that finished something like 56-55. I'm not saying I had 55 drinks, but I don't remember much after that game.
And that's why Joey never finished university.
And that's why Joey doesn't drink anymore. How was that for ample thinking time, Tim?
I still can't think of one.
Okay, we can wait.
I'll try and come up with one for the post-amble.
No, we'll wait. We'll sit here and wait.
Looking at my Steam library, see if there's anything that immediately comes up.
Don't fill the space, Tim.
I'm going to put something... do you know what? Just to pop it in, I'm going to say Baldur's Gate, The Adventures with Howard the Halifax Man.
As your best ever multiplayer moment.
I'm looking at my Steam library, I see Baldur's Gate. That's what's coming to mind.
Do you know what? Considering this entire podcast is scripted, that wasn't a good answer.
Oh.
No.
Tim, can you explain what Howard the Halifax Man was?
So, Joey, Payne, myself, and was it you, Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all decided to hop on Baldur's Gate for a bit of a laugh.
Some fun times.
And I made a dwarf of some sort. I don't remember what it was particularly, but it was just a dwarf.
Can I tell you what he was?
What's that?
Can I tell you what he was?
Yeah.
Extremely throwable.
Oh, that's what he was, yeah. He was like a nerd.
You were a bard, weren't you?
I was a bard, but I don't remember if I themed it after something. Like I made a tiefling after for Shadow the Hedgehog, for example.
Of course you did.
Yeah, it was funny. All his spells revolved around speed. No, I made this bard dwarf, and Joey had made Howard from the Halifax adverts. And for the people who don't know, Halifax is a bank. They used to have a... I guess just like a commonly recurring character on their adverts called Howard, who was just this very helpful man who would help people with their credit cards or insurance or whatever.
He was a Birmingham as well.
He was a Birmingham. And Joey decided to make Howard the buff, masculine barbarian man, and just basically had a naked Howard the Halifax man going around throwing me, the dwarf, into anything and everything, including trapped rooms, up cliffs, downstairs, whatever was there.
Me and Payne are there trying to play it properly, and all you hear is "ah!"
I feel like that's on you for playing with Tim and me. You should know that no game is going to be played properly when the Fitzgerald brothers are involved.
Yeah, it's my fault you two are idiots.
It absolutely is. Absolutely is. Right. Good answer, Tim. Ignore what Alex says. Don't let him put you down. So, we're here to talk about Helldivers 2. This game was released on the 8th of February 2024, made by Arrowhead Game Studios. It's available on PS5 and Steam only. It's got pretty favourable reviews, 9 out of 10 on Steam, 9 out of 10 on IGN, and 90% on OpenCritic, so that's 9 out of 10 all over the place. Fun fact, it sold 1 million copies within 3 days of its launch, which is 3 times more than the first Helldivers game achieved in its lifetime.
That's a lot.
And it's a third-person shooter game, also kind of an MMO, but also not. But we'll explain why that's the case in a wee minute. Thoughts on the game, and it would be rude not to go straight to our guest. Alex, what did you think of Helldivers 2?
It might be the most fun I've had playing video games since Baldur's Gate.
Since ever.
Not since ever, because Baldur's Gate was sort of, but this has just been fun. There's not been a time I've come off of Helldivers 2 and thought, I can't be bothered with that game anymore. Pretty much every other game you play, you get to a point where you think, I can't be arsed with this anymore. But so far, Helldivers 2, no.
And how much time have you put into it so far?
I'm just trying to load Steam now to find out, but it's a fair old chunk of time.
A fair old whack.
Apparently only 55 hours. That doesn't sound right.
I put 58 and a half hours in. So
maybe it is right.
So yeah, good time, boy. Fun time.
Good time all around.
Good. Wembembro, your thoughts on Helldivers 2?
I love it. I actually love the community as well around this. So something that we don't often talk about on Game Club Pod is the community and almost what's the word that I'm looking for? I guess the community is the only word for it. Like you look on TikTok or on Reddit, for example, and you'll see people almost in character being like, "We need to liberate this. We need oh god, the automatons are doing that." Like it's something. It's not immersive. to be in the community in that sense, but it's really fun to see people really getting into the spirit of it. I love the fact that everyone is playing the exact same campaign, and even if you only do a small mission, in some way it contributes to everyone's experience, which is really, really cool to see. There isn't another game like this that I know of.
No, I think there is.
Well, Helldivers 1, but
no, Helldivers 1 is not like this at all. And
Helldivers 1, yeah.
We'll get onto that in a little bit. But there is another game, because when I explained the system to someone, they said, "Oh, that's like da-da-da-da," and I can't remember what it was. But I think that this really popularized the kind of, you're playing your own 4-player game, but as a part of an army.
Yeah.
I think Eve has a similar sort of bit. It's a grand strategy, but it's that similar sort of, everyone's working towards certain goals in this. Everyone's in the same server. Everyone's in the same world.
Yeah. Anything else, Tim?
I love how tongue-in-cheek it is. It's clearly quite the love letter to Starship Troopers, and I love that. I love the opening cutscene. It really sets the tone. I love the fact the characters, instead of swearing, will say things like "Sweet Liberty, my arm," if they get shot in the arm, or they'll have like cheesy one-liners like "How about a cup of liberty?"
Yeah.
It's just so well done. Plus the sound design is incredible. Like the noise they have for the faster than light jump when you're jumping between planets is just so good.
It is good. I think you've hit on a few things within that. We'll get on to the intro cinematic. It is so good that I'm actually going to play it in full for you both in a minute. The fact that this is a love letter to Starship Troopers, and it is, I think we'll also need to talk a little bit about the Starship Troopers game.
Yeah. And arguably the Terminator game.
I've not played the Terminator game.
It's fine.
It's not Helldivers 2, basically.
It's not Helldivers 2, but there's definitely like a Terminator influence in here.
There is. But anything else on your thoughts there, Tim? Or
No, I know.
No? Okay, cool. So I love Helldivers 2. It is fantastic. It is incredibly memeable. It is fast-paced. It is cooperative or anti-cooperative, depending on how you play and if you play with Tim.
What do you mean?
That wasn't a slight on Tim. That was that yesterday, to demonstrate friendly fire to Tim's girlfriend, I threw a grenade at him and he instantly exploded. So that is the level that we get to on I was going to say Starship Troopers then, on Helldivers 2. I love how lavishly over the top it is with its dumbass patriotism, and it's clearly a commentary on praising, over glorifying military services, and really demonizing automatons or terminids, which are the bugs, as the invader, when clearly there's something that's not quite as it is on the surface here. But we're going to play the intro cinematic for you, and then we'll get into the story of Helldivers.
Super Earth, our home. Prosperity. Liberty. Hi there. Democracy. Our way of life. Oh, hello. But freedom doesn't come free. No! Sweet liberty! No! Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free. Join the Helldivers. Become part of an elite peacekeeping force. manage democracy throughout the galaxy. Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a Helldiver.
Tim, can you explain to the listeners, because a lot of that is quite audio funny, what the hell have we just watched?
So the opening cinematic to Helldivers plays as almost a 40s to 50s, maybe 60s-esque propaganda war movie. Like the old ones you'd see in the States where it's like, we're at war with this country and they are against everything you stand for, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It plays the journey of a man who watches his family get killed by a bug that's just in this paradise. It's just placed there and kills his wife and child. And then he becomes a Helldiver to shoot demonic bugs in the face with a missile and plant a flag in another bug and chest bump your friends and high five and watch jets fly over and pose with cool guns on cliffs.
Could there be a intro cinematic to a game that encapsulates the gameplay any better, Alex?
Probably not. I mean, it's pretty. It tells you exactly what's going to happen. You're going to go and fight some bugs because you need to protect your land from the invaders. It's pretty spot on. It does what it says on the tin.
The only game I can think of that does something tonally similar in terms of like this is exactly what you're getting out of the game is the intro to Devil May Cry 5.
Not played it.
Yeah.
Not played it. You took it off the running order, so
I did. It's going to come back at some point, I'm sure.
Probably after that infamous Metal Gear Rising Revengeance episode.
Probably, yeah.
So, the story of Helldivers. You are one of hundreds of thousands of players. Each player is an individual who is a soldier within the Helldiver army. You are tasked at the moment, at time of recording, to fight either Terminids, which are bugs. There are lots of different variants of these Terminids with varying strengths, abilities, armors, etc. Or you can fight the automatons, which are Terminator robots. So, once again, loads of different levels of strength, ability, size. But the main difference is that the automatons will get you at range with more explodies than the buggy wuggies.
Yeah.
Right? So, you are a member from Super Earth of the Helldivers, and your job is to go and liberate the planets around your solar system. When we say liberate, we mean wipe out the bugs or the automatons.
If there's a single thing left breathing, you've done it wrong.
Exactly. And what Tim alluded to earlier with the system that they use in Helldivers is to start a mission, you pull up a map of your solar system and you choose a planet and you can see a percentage bar that says how liberated that planet has become. And all that means is how many players have gone there and completed missions. Each time you complete a mission, the progress bar goes up 0.00001%. But over time, with something like 400,000 concurrent players, that adds up quite quickly. And the point is to liberate the galaxy that you're in and to remove all of the Terminids or automatons at time of recording. And I say at time of recording because there's leaks out about Helldivers, some put out by the game devs, some put out by members of the community, that there's going to be a third faction that we're soon to be fighting called the Illuminate.
Yeah. There's already been some teasers of them here and there. Like people have spotted cloaked ships flying past some moons on automaton planets. I think I might have seen something the other night when we were playing. If you remember, I watched something fly out of orbit and then disappear.
Was that not just an Eagle 1?
No. It was it had a really weird trajectory.
Well, Tim is the source of all truth then, so Tim is illuminated. Behold, for he is Wembembo.
Praise be.
But there's always this kind of sense of sense that you're being lied to by the propaganda overlords of Helldivers, that you are maybe not the good guys that you think you are. You are, in fact, that Mitchell and Webb sketch where they look at each other and say, "Are we the baddies?"
Our caps have got skulls on them.
Exactly.
Sometimes they often do.
And yeah, sometimes your helmets do have skulls on them. So you never know. Are you the baddies? But does it matter? Because you're having a good time liberating. I think the thing that makes this game so fun for me, and I liken it to games like Skyrim, and that's a very weird link, but I'll explain it now. Everyone that you speak to has a completely different experience of Helldivers, and everyone has an individual story of something that they did that was totally amazing, totally awesome, or absolutely stupid. Like the first time you launched in, you dropped in on one of your friends, killing them instantly, that kind of thing. Or you could drop in a nuclear bomb into a nest and eliminate 2 of the enormous Titan Terminids in one hit. But everyone you speak to that plays it has a completely different story, and they're always hilarious or badass.
Well, it's what I referred to very early on in Game Club Pod as a water cooler kind of game.
Yeah.
Where you can just, like Joey said, no matter who you speak to, everyone has got a story to tell about being a Helldiver. Like, be that with their friends or with a random they found online who was just weird, or just something strange that happened in game. Like, when we played a couple of weeks ago, I had never seen it before, that you can have, I think I saw 7 Bile Titans on my screen at one point. Bile Titans being, like, the hardest bug enemy in the game.
Yeah.
For now. And I saw 7 of them on my screen at one point, and had no choice but just to book it while they all chased me down.
Yeah. Alex, what's a crazy experience you've had in Helldivers?
The first time we went onto a defense mission where it's just kill waves of enemies, and I didn't know about. I think it might have been with a group of randoms actually, and I didn't know about the strategy of just get all of the mortars and the turrets and things like that. So I'm running around on the floor killing these bugs and just constantly getting exploded.
Fair enough.
I now know better.
I think the one that I like the most isn't that rare an occurrence, but when you're being charged down by a charger, which is another bug, but it's really heavily armoured, and its attack is that it runs at you and basically runs you over because it's the size of a bus. It runs at you, but if you have an anti-tank missile, you can explode its head while it's running at you. But if you can do that and dive out of the way, it's one of the most satisfying feelings in gaming, I think. But another thing that's really cool about Helldivers is you can pay for the premium version, but with a bit of hard work and grinding, you can get everything that's in the premium version for the standard base game price.
Yeah. You can earn your not the pre-order stuff, I don't think, but the stuff that's in the premium version of the game. You can earn it by doing missions, by helping contribute to the overall war effort. If there's like what's referred to as a what do they call them? Dispatch order?
Major order.
Major order, thank you. If there's a major order on which is like the game devs being like, hey, focus on this one thing right now. You contributing to that directly gives you rewards. You filling out little mini objectives, like I had one earlier today, which was to get 100 kills with an Eagle Strafe, which is a stratagem which we'll get to in a minute here, what a stratagem is. But it's a particular stratagem to get 100 kills with that, and you'll get a reward.
That's a great segue, Tim. Just explain to us what a stratagem is.
A stratagem are things that you, as a player, can pay for with the in-game money that you earn by playing, to call in additional things to help you with your war effort. So Alex alluded to earlier with mortars and Gatling guns, but you could call in nukes, smoke screens, EMP fields, backpacks that contain a whole bunch of ammo, rocket launchers, jetpacks, like all sorts of stuff. Just to really aid you in the mission that you're doing. And the mission type that you're doing, because there are mission types, the mission type that you're doing will near enough determine what kind of stratagem you will pick. There's nothing stopping you from picking something else, but there's definitely some stratagems that are tailored to certain missions. So Alex mentioned a defense mission earlier. a tactic that we've kind of adopted is find some high ground and throw as many mines and mortars at the ground as possible.
And don't get off the high ground.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll die in the minefields.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that's really cool about this, so you've got 4 players in a single squad, up to 4 players. So you can play 1 player, 2 player, 3 player, 4 player. It's no more than that. I don't think they're ever going to change it. I think they've said that they're not going to bring in any more, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
I think that there's already enough of a sense of community with the liberation meter that we spoke about earlier on each planet. But the ability to just have 4 of your friends in one game, talking on Discord, dicking about in Helldivers is the good number. But you've got 4 players, and each player can have a maximum of 4 different stratagems in-game. So you could, in theory, have 16 different additional weapons to fight either automatons or terminids at time of recording.
Yeah. But on top of that as well, you do also get some, like, sometimes the developers will be like, okay, for this week and this planet only, everyone gets as much napalm as they want.
That was a fun week.
That was a very fun week. That was also my introduction to Helldivers 2, was Napalm Week.
Napalm Week.
But then also you can get these things called enhancements, which are essentially like little buffs that an individual can pick to affect their whole squad. Like, for example, I often pick one that means that you start out, that everyone in your squad starts out with maximum ammo.
Which, as standard, you start off with 70% ammo for each of your weapons, grenades, and stims.
Mm-hmm. So it goes a long way. But you can get ones that make your players run for longer with a better stamina meter, or have better resistances to explosions, or there's a whole bunch of stuff.
There is a whole bunch of stuff. And I think the stratagems, they're quite hard to get the grasp of at first, because I think your natural instinct in a third-person shooter game, especially one that's as chaotic as Helldivers, is to point gun at thing and shoot thing. But without the stratagems blowing up big hordes of them and doing a lot of the heavy lifting, boy howdy, you'd have a difficult time on the higher difficulties.
Yeah. The other thing that they've also thrown into the mix relatively recently at the time of recording is weather effects, which have changed the game in weird and strange directions. Or they've moved the game in weird and strange new places. So, for example, they have things like ion storms, which prevent you from using your map or stratagems. There's fire tornadoes, earthquakes, acid rain, sandstorms, blizzards, and it takes players. It essentially adds a little bit of a modifier, a bit of random, and a bit of variance to a game where players are already going to be quite familiar with the overall flow chart of the gameplay.
Yeah. But
then it just throws a spanner in the works, being like, no, there's earthquakes now. All your aim's off, and you'll occasionally fall over for the next minute.
But there's added risks to that. So, for example, if a member of your party dies, you get a limited number of reinforcements. I think it's 15 at the start of each match.
I think it depends on the difficulty you're playing.
Okay. But it's very common to die. It's not like a rare thing to die in a mission in Helldivers multiple times. Usually by the enemy, also not unusually by your teammates accidentally blowing you up with nuclear weapons. But when you have things like the ion storms that limit your stratagems, reinforcing your teammates is a stratagem, so you're unable to do it for that length of time. But the general gist of a mission is you choose where you drop in on the map. You are shot in from your space cruiser, and you land. You call in the additional weapons that you want to use, so things like your backpacks, your third weapon, so whether that's a rocket launcher or a machine gun, etc., etc.
Or a lightning gun, as I usually like to use.
Or Tim uses the lightning gun, sometimes on the enemies, sometimes on me.
How they behave.
And you complete a mission, and the missions can be as varied as kill 300 enemies in this area, destroy all of the bug nests, launch a nuclear missile, move these communications from one side of the map to the other, things like that. And you'll complete the mission, and then you extract. And the point in the extract is to get you in one place where you call in Pelican 1, which is your extraction ship, and they keep you there for a minimum of 2 minutes, and you just get hordes of enemies approaching you at that location from all sides. So it kind of makes every single mission end in a bit of a frantic firefight, and I just love that that element of the game.
It's phenomenal through and through.
It really is. And I also love that at the end of each mission, they give you your stat counter. So you can see how many you killed, what your accuracy is, how many bullets you've fired, how much friendly fire damage you've committed is always a good one. And what's the highest you've ever seen on that?
I've been hit with a nuke more than once.
No, but what the number on your...
I don't know what the number would be.
Mine was 32,000 I've seen.
I was going to say, I think I've seen 15,000 before.
Yeah, 32,000. Someone hit our team 4 or 5 times with a nuclear bomb, every single time killing all of the members of it, including themselves. Jesus. So be careful who you play with.
Real democracy.
That's so democratic. We said in the intro that we need to talk about Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
There's such a correlation between the film Starship Troopers and Helldivers that I'm doing my part thing screams a complete synergy between the two to me.
Yeah.
And I think in the trailer, the intro that we saw where Tim was saying people chest bumping each other and high-fiving with loads of alien blood going everywhere, that is peak Starship Troopers. Now, what Helldivers 2 does better is the game.
Yeah.
So we all got Starship Troopers the game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We all played it for a little bit.
It was fine.
The differences were it's first person, for starters, which I think, I don't know, it doesn't work as well for me. If Helldivers was first person, I don't think it would be as fun. You have shed loads of people in a lobby, and you play with randoms, whether you want to or not. And that means that you can't strategize as well. But also, towards the end of every mission in Starship Troopers, you have the same thing as Helldivers. You have an extract. So you go to your ship where you're going to extract, and you have to wait till everyone's in the ship, and then you fly away. Alex, what happens at the end of every mission of
Starship Troopers?
Yeah.
You'll have 2 or 3 dickheads who will sit outside of the ship just getting extra kills to feel special. And you're sat there in the ship going... just waiting. And the key thing here is when the extract comes down on Starship Troopers, there is no timer for when it leaves. Pelican 1 in Helldivers 2 goes, if you're not on this ship in the next 2 minutes, I'm off.
20 seconds once one person
It's
gets
20
on.
seconds once one person's on, yeah.
Well, the difference is, the other main difference is, at the end of every Starship Troopers mission, because of those 1 or 2 dickheads that are sat on the outside of the ship, hundreds of enemies are spawning in, and your frame rate drops to 1 frame a second because there's too much going on. Whereas Helldivers is so well optimized, there could be hundreds of enemies on the screen at once, and I don't think I've ever seen it go below 50 frames a second.
Yeah.
No.
There's something about games that I think are made for PlayStation. So Helldivers 2, I think, was originally going to be a PlayStation exclusive. All the original trailers were for PlayStation 5, but I'm extending this to PlayStation Studios games. When they're ported to Steam, they run exceptionally.
Yeah,
and
for the most part.
I have never had a problem with them, ever.
I've heard reports that, well, obviously The Last of Us did not do well when that came to PC. And I have a feeling that Uncharted didn't do so well until it got a patch a couple weeks later.
I think Uncharted had the same issue.
Oh, okay, well then I take it back.
That could be a Naughty Dog thing, though, to be fair.
The ones I've played have run immaculately at very high graphic settings. So Death Stranding, Horizon, Days Gone, Helldivers, all of them run brilliantly on PC. And I think it's something that PlayStation have probably done very, very well, which makes me excited for Silent Hill 2 to finally fucking come to Steam.
When Bloodborne.
Bloodborne never, Tim. Bloodborne never.
When Bloodborne.
Bloodborne never, I'm afraid. There's something that we haven't spoken about in Helldivers, something that is imperative to the game that you would never know about unless you were told it. One man that controls the galaxy.
Joel.
Pesky Joel.
Joel.
Alex, you particularly enunciated Joel in a way of disgust. Tell us about Joel. Who is Joel?
So Joel is the one employee at Arrowhead, whatever
yeah.
they call it. Arrowhead, yeah. He's the one employee there who he's effectively, to put it in D&D terms, he's the game master. He controls everything. If he sees that everyone's doing really well trying to take back Malevolent Greek, he just goes, do you know what? 3,000 more resources can go there. Bye-bye Helldivers. And he is a knob. I don't know who he is at the studio. I'm sure he's locked in a cell somewhere for his own security, but he can take everyone's hard work and just go, nah, bye-bye.
He's Joel.
He's Joel.
But but what I like about it is it's not, what he does isn't unreasonable.
No.
He doesn't take things to a point where players are going, I'm giving up on this game. This game's not worth it anymore. Joel's fucked it over. Everyone's going, fuck Joel. Let's get back at him.
Yeah. There's a real sense of camaraderie against one developer.
Who probably doesn't sleep at night anymore.
I was thinking about this. That like, he's going to get such little sleep. Because like, obviously people the world over are playing this game.
They seem to be very... They seem to be very... They're not letting anything slip about who he actually is within the team. It could be an intern for all we know. It could be a QA tester.
If I had to guess, I'd probably say there's like a small team of just like live balancers.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
Do we think Joel has the best job in all of video games?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's up there.
Like shy of being Gabe Newell. Like, it's pretty good.
Can you imagine having on your CV, oh, what do you do for a job? Oh, I control the galaxy.
I was Joel.
Do you think his name is Joel, or that's just a name that they've given? Someone who's actually called Brian.
Given this developer, I reckon it's some mental acronym for something.
I think at the end of Helldivers 2, when they're ready to release Helldivers 3, there'll be a planet where the final boss is Joel.
Yeah. Just a guy at a desk pushing pins around a table.
It's just a 40-foot automaton with a pen in his hand.
And he goes down in a single shot.
Yeah. You guys have seen that shit post that's been kicking around for a couple of years where the can of Coke is fighting off the hordes of Pepsi?
Yeah.
Alex has seen it. Yeah, it's a bit like that.
Okay, cool. Anything else we want to talk about on Helldivers?
I want to briefly go back to weather effects because I experienced something really cool today, actually, while playing it.
Okay.
I have never been in a sandstorm before in Helldivers. I didn't realize how much it completely ruined your visibility. But something that was really cool is obviously anything that affects your visibility also affects enemy visibility. And what we'd found going into this firefight, we were having this firefight in this desert where we're effectively surrounded, the three of us. And the sandstorm comes in and it very quickly shifts into a stealth mission where you're creeping around this sandstorm trying to take out automatons without being noticed by other groups of automatons. It's really, really interesting to do.
That is pretty cool. Did you see any of the new automatons that have just been released?
So this is something as well we should probably touch on. The devs are very in touch with the community, but they're also quite secretive about what they're planning on doing. So they just released a small update, maybe a week or so ago at the time of recording, and no one really knew what it was until they started seeing flying automatons and walking factory automatons that spit out big automatons.
Yeah.
It spits out rocket devastators, doesn't it?
Yeah, and shield devastators, so like the big boys. The large lads, the units. So that's the other thing that I love about Arrowhead and this game is they're very open with the community in terms of what they're doing when it comes to balancing weapons and creative decisions with the games. But if there's any updates or anything that they don't want to talk about, they'll keep it quiet and just let the community work things out.
Yeah, it's quite rare not to see the update in full in what they're doing in the patch notes, isn't it? It's because I've read the patch notes for the latest update thinking, oh, this is quite a big update. I wonder what it is. And it just said, oh, we've addressed some balances in the weapons.
Yeah. And I remember when that patch came out, I happened to be browsing Reddit and saw people panicking about flying red lasers.
Yeah, it's a good time had by all.
Yeah.
I think the other thing I wanted to mention is Helldivers 1. Now, have either of you played Helldivers 1?
No.
No.
I picked it up in a Steam sale for about £1.
Really?
And
it is a 10-year-old game at this point.
9 years old. It came out in 2015. Helldivers 1 is a single-player top-down shooter from the same universe as Helldivers 2, obviously. And Helldivers 2 is a direct sequel to Helldivers 1, where the Terminids and the Automatons were working together with the Illuminate, and they had actually destroyed Super Earth. And the point in Helldivers 1 is to take back Super Earth. So I think it adds a little bit of ambiguity to that whole "are we the baddies" thing, because you've freed your own country or your own planet, sorry, and you're just fighting back on the Automatons and the Terminids at the moment. But quite a lot of what's coming later in Helldivers 2 is informed by Helldivers 1.
Yeah.
So there are voice tapes and things like that from Automatons in Helldivers 1 of the Automatons saying, oh, we never wanted to fight you. You invaded our planet. We simply struck back. And if you leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. And Helldivers 2 is basically like, yeah, forget that. We're just going to go ahead and blow you up anyway. So I think that's really cool that to learn more about what's coming, you can play the first game and get a pretty good idea.
The other thing I want to briefly touch on as well, it's a strange fascination that I have with physics in games.
I wonder if it's cloth physics, because you say this every time there's a game with good cloth physics.
I love cloth physics. I loved it in Bloodborne. I'm fascinated with it in this. I don't know what it is. I love a cape in games.
Yeah. There's something the tutorial of this game you have to do, and it's not the easiest tutorial. I think we all said that we died during the tutorial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the tutorial, it feels very sterile, and the reason that it feels sterile is you don't get to have your Helldiver cape until you've completed the training.
It's a graduation thing.
It is a graduation thing, and the Helldiver cape, my God, it's cool.
Yeah. There's just something really cool about, yeah, you can customize your helmet, and yeah, you can customize your armor to get certain perks, but what cape are you wearing? Like, there's something really cool about that.
Do you know the other thing that's really cool like that is when you finish a mission and you've been alive for a long time, you are either covered head to toe in blood or oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that lasts until the next mission. So you can be wandering around your home base just absolutely lathered in blood.
Yeah.
Which is just wonderful.
It's an unreal feeling.
It is. But this is not an Unreal game, Tim.
No, it's not built on Unreal.
It's not built on Unreal. That was a terrible game joke. Anything else before we move into scores, recommendations?
I've got the Steam page up for Helldivers 1 Dive Harder Edition, and part of the trailer shows Pelican 1 landing on all 4 Helldivers and killing them instantly.
Yep, that do be happening. Well, Tim, you have my library, so you have Helldivers 1.
Ah, fantastic. Yeah, but yeah, we should probably do scores and thoughts.
Scores on the doors.
Scores and thoughts.
It would be rude not to start with our guest. So, Alex, scores, recommendation.
Obviously, it's recommended. It's like I said at the start, it's probably been the most fun I've had playing games since Baldur's Gate came out. I would like a bit more option for customization. I'd like to be able to colour the lights of my ship and things like that, but I have a feeling that is something that will come down the pipeline. the armor looks really cool, but sometimes you have armor and you think, that'd look better in green or blue or black or whatever. It'd be cool to change that. But that is purely 100% cosmetic and just me wanting to be different, apparently. So, in terms of score, I can't not give it a 10.
A 10?
Wowzers. Tim, are you noting these scores down, by the way?
I can. Let me get the sheet.
There is nothing I can point to in Helldivers 2 and say that doesn't work or that is bad.
Very fair.
And with how active the developers are in maintaining, improving, and changing the game, it's not something you see nowadays, really.
No, it's not. Tim, your thoughts, scores, recommendations?
Just sort of one thing we didn't touch on, the fact that you can name your ship.
Let's rewind a little bit. So we have a I don't even know how it started. I think we just thought it was funny. But all of our ships have your ship naming convention is you are the something of something.
Yeah. They give you a template, like Dark Souls messages.
Exactly. So you have loads of options. So you can be, I don't know, the X of Y, the A of Y, B of Y, C of Y, D of Y. And then your the something has loads of options and the of something has loads of options. Now, all of our ships are the something of family values because it's funny. So we're going to do a little round robin. Alex, what's your ship called?
I'm the harbinger of family values.
Right. Nice. Tim, Pains first.
Pains is the force of family values.
Yeah, good.
Our old next door neighbor who plays with us sometimes, Dan, is the martyr of family values.
Whereas every family value needs.
Yep, I'm the fist of family values.
Also, as every family value needs. Chris, who we sometimes play with, is the elected official of family values.
Yep.
Which I like. And I, as I was the first one to have the family values, I am the founding father of family values.
Yeah, but what were you originally?
Together, you almost get like an Exodia situation.
Yeah. What was I originally? I can't remember.
You were originally the ombudsman of family values.
The ombudsman of family values.
Yeah. I liked that because it sounded very administrative.
Yeah.
In a game that is not administrative.
He just turns up with his clipboard.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, so we're going to fast forward now. Alex, can you do the fast forward noise? Thank you. Tim, so scores and recommendations.
Absolutely recommend. I think it's one of these games where if you're even remotely interested in it, you've probably already bought it.
You've got the bug.
You've got the bug, or you've got the automaton. But if you have somehow not heard of this and are playing games, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to give it a look. Again, the community sense here is like nothing I've ever seen. The gameplay is satisfying. It's fast. It's chaotic. It's adrenaline pumping, and it makes memories. It's incredible. I don't know if I can give it a 10 out of 10 because I think it's missing some things. Like Alex said, I'd like a little more customization. For example, I'd like a little more variance in the missions, but I'm happy to give it a 9.
Nice. Very nice. And a recommend, you said.
Absolutely.
Tim, have you tried this on the Steam Deck yet?
No. Apparently, it does not do well on the Steam Deck on anything above medium difficulty.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It does not like loading it that many enemies.
It's a lot of geometry on the screen at once.
Exactly. Steam Deck does not like.
Fair enough. Just thought I'd check. So that was Tim's Steam Corner. I fucking love Helldivers. Without any surprise, I highly recommend. I'm going to split the middle of you two and go 9.5 out of 10.
Very nice.
That's just to make the maths easy.
Just to make the maths easy. It feels... Helldivers 2 gives me the same feeling that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 gave me on Xbox launch of jumping on, playing for hours with your friends, every time having something to talk about, every time the same mission levels and mission types feeling different. Just you work towards upgrading to your optimal loadout. You work towards a shared goal with your friends, and I think Arrowhead have nailed everything about this game. This game is less than 2 months old, and if you think about it's not an early release, it's not early
release.
It's full release, and you look at how much stuff they've added since launch. I think Helldivers will be very exciting over the next few months for its ever-changing war-trodden landscape. Pick it up. If you've got a semi-decent PC, like I said, it runs really well. Just give it a go.
Did we talk about the price?
No, we didn't.
£35 at the minute.
Well, that's full price on Steam, but
that's the full price at the minute, yeah.
$25 on CD keys.
Mm-hmm.
What I was going to say is the only thing I'm not crazy on, but it is understandable. Helldivers 2 is a big game. It's 100 gig in space. So it's not one of these games that we sometimes play and we're like, oh, it's only half a gig, oh, it's 20 megabytes, or you've not wasting any disk space on it. You are using a lot of disk space, but you will get a lot of time out of this game and a lot of fun if you play with your friends. I think that is a caveat, actually. If you don't know someone that plays this, or have friends that play it, I think you will not have as good a time.
Yeah, it's definitely a with friends game. But on that same note, and this is more of a note to Arrowhead, please, please, please fix crossplay. Every time someone joins from PlayStation on PC, something breaks with the host. Like, normally it's something like your primary weapons are gone. Or one time we had a mission where it was to carry a hard drive from one end of the map to the other, and the hard drive just vanished until the PlayStation user left.
I mean, you can easily circumvent that by closing your lobby to people you don't know.
You can, but the fact that it's on by default means it probably should be working.
Yeah. Well, that's my 0.5 out of 10 knocked off.
Yeah. So that gives us, to no surprise, a score of 9.5.
Is that the highest score we've ever had?
I don't know.
I think the
only
only
highest one this year.
It definitely is the highest one this year. I think the only thing that might beat it is Legend of Zelda.
I was going to say, did you not have something that was like a 9.66?
Zelda. It's like one of our first games. Tears of the
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. That's the one I'm thinking.
Came out at 9.5.
But this is our joint highest game.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. What a game.
What a game.
And thank you for joining us. In 2 weeks, we will be playing another one of my games. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. This is where Tim finds out where I fit this into our schedule. In 2 weeks, we will be playing another multiplayer-focused game. We'll be playing Lethal Company. So look forward to that show.
Yeah.
Tim, anything you want to say?
Join us in 2 weeks where Alex is going to have to report back on this. Will be finding the biggest bug that he can near him and shooting it. That's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Right. I'll have to have a word with Slade and find out where to get a gun, but yeah, I can manage it.
Okay. Good. Well, Alex, thank you. We can wheel you away now.
Back in the cupboard to go, like Noel Fielding in the IT crowd.
We'll get that.
I'm going back to my cupboard now.
In case of host missing glass back in front of you. But no, really, just say thank you for jumping on this. Always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah.
Anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to plug?
I don't plug things because I don't have things to plug, but go check out the Podpack Collective if you haven't already.
What a guy. He's better at that than us, Tim.
He is.
Yeah, check out Podpack Collective. Nice. And we will see you after the post-amble. After the music for the post-amble, where I have a very short quiz for you.
Short quiz.
For democracy, people. For democracy.
For liberty. Freedom.
To manage democracy.
Hello, welcome back. This is the Post Amble. It was a really long time. Did you enjoy the music that we played, Alex? I waited until you coughed to ask you that question.
Thank you, yeah. It was great music.
Thank you. So, it's going to be a really quick one. I have a 5-question quiz for you.
Yeah.
It is fastest finger first. Obviously, I won't be seeing your fingers. So, I want a buzzer noise from both of you. Tim, what would your buzzer noise be?
Ah.
That was do better. There you go. Great. Alex? That was good. We're not going to use either of them. You're just going to say your name. So, the theme of this quiz is Helldivers 2.
Oh.
Oh, no.
It's like we never left the episode. So,
What's Helldivers 2? Sorry, I've never heard of it.
No, me neither. Remember, just say your name. Wait until I've said who it is, and then I'll ask you, and if you're right, we'll move on. If you're wrong, you're out of that round unless the other person gets it wrong. You can have a maximum of 2 attempts at each question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, question 1. What is the stratagem input for a 500-kilo bomb?
Tim.
Tim?
Down, right, down, down, down.
Incorrect. Alex?
Upright, down, down, down.
Alex gets a point. Question number 2. Helldivers series takes heavy inspiration from which film series?
Tim.
Starship
Troopers and Terminator.
Well, Starship Troopers I've put here, but you get the point. Question number 3. What kind of game is the original Helldivers?
Tim.
Alex.
Alex got it.
It's a top-down twin-stick shooter.
Lovely stuff. That is 2-1 to Alex. Question number 4. What is the full name of The Creek?
Tim. Malevolent Creek.
Well done. It's 2-2. It all hinges on this.
Tense.
Joey had some tense music here.
Joey will not.
That is my usual forte. Adding editing notes and then not following up on them. Gentlemen, are you feeling tense?
I'm picturing the music from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You know the bum 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 bum, that one.
Well, now I'm just going to loop that.
All right, great.
The entire way through.
Well, I did that in the last one, the Buckshot Roulette. I looped Slade's audio for about 5 minutes. It sounded horrible. Question 5, and your tie-break question. What is the name of the main theme in Helldivers 2?
Alex. A Cup of Liberty.
We have a winner. Congratulations to Alex.
Oh, well done.
It is called A Cup of Liberty.
Is that what the da-da-da-da thing is called?
It is
Yeah,
indeed.
it fairly recently went up on Spotify and YouTube Music,
really?
didn't it? Yeah.
Well, I'm adding that to my Spotify playlist.
I don't know if they put a full playlist on there, but I remember seeing that go up.
Nice. Well, gentlemen, that was Democracy Manifest. Thanks again for coming, Alex.
Thank you for having me.
Get your hands off my penis and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.